This is the third generation monster, Damian Blackwell, and the mistress of monsters, Halo.
And you're watching Johnny's Garage.
It's AJ Black, third generation superstar, and you're hanging out in Johnny's Garage.
All right, welcome to Johnny's Garage. You got me sitting over here. You got the big death row, Mr. Martin, up on top. And on the bottom, we got a man. He goes by the moniker of the brutal bastard. This man is not brutal. Stiff as hell, but not brutal. Harsh, how you doing, man?
How you guys doing?
Oh man, happy to have you, man.
Hey, I'm glad to be here, man. I'm glad to be here. It's been a long time, guys.
And just so everybody in the world knows that watches this, we've been trying to get this man on here for about 3 months now.
Yep.
And he's just like us. He's busy as anything.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, except he's not retired yet, so that's why we can't catch him.
Yep. Yep. During the week, busy, and during the weekends, even busier. So yeah, it's a mess.
Absolutely.
Now, just to give a little background on him, he's in the Midwest area. Are you in Illinois now? Or are you in?
I live in Missouri now.
In Missouri?
But the company I work for runs mostly Illinois. He's been coming into Missouri lately this last year.
So anybody watching this, if you're ever up in the Midwest and you see the Powertrip name on a wrestling card, go watch him because he's amazing to watch.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Guaranteed, man. We used to have a lot of fun.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
Of course, our idea of fun would scare the hell out of most everybody else.
Yep.
Yes.
We ain't going to talk about St. Louis on this one.
No,
St. Louis, Marsh?
Yeah. I remember this.
That just a little thing on the St. Louis area. What was the town we were in? It was just like 30, 40 minutes outside of St. Louis.
It was Alton.
And it was in this old building, and I was wrestling Marty Jannetty.
Yeah.
And I still laugh at this today. And his music hit, and he walked out, spread his arms like, here I am, and the entranceway fell on his shoulders. You can't write this stuff.
No, you can't. You can't write something like that.
Now, I know I did a show up there, but I don't remember Horse being there. Horse, was I there the night you were there?
I couldn't. Hey, you know how long ago that's been? How many shots
in
the head that is?
So I was there with Marty and Bogey. We ended up getting in a kind of a fight before the show.
Actually, Harsh was there because he was the one that booked us into the show.
For real? Okay.
Yeah.
So some other show shows up to try to kick Marty's ass before the show. And I had just met Marty the night before, and so Marty's going to go out there and fight him by himself. And I jump up and I'm walking out. And Marty looks at me and he goes, "Where are you going? This is my fight." And I said, "No, we're in the same show, brother. They going to fight me too." And then Bogey comes running up and he's like, "I'm in. Let's go." And we're and it was comical to say the least when we got outside. Yeah. But
Marty Jannetty was a fireball anyway, man. He was a fireball from the get-go.
Well, if we're going to tell a Marty story, I got the best one. We're up in Iowa. We're at the bar. Go figure, Marty's with us. We're at the bar. We're going back and forth all night. I keep getting all these girls coming over to me, and they're going, hey, we heard you're a famous wrestler and all that. Can we have your autograph? And I look over and Marty's sitting there laughing under his breath, pointing at me, you know. But we get ready to go home, and Chad's driving. It wasn't his wife this time, because she was I think she was too far along pregnant at that time.
Yeah, she's probably having a baby.
Or she just had the baby, one of the two. And we get pulled over. It's me and Chad's sister in the back, Marty and Chad's driving. Cop pulls us over and comes up to the window. He says, you got a tail light out. Where are you coming from? Chad told him, he goes, look, I'm designated driver. I just went and picked them up from the bar so they wouldn't have to drive. We don't want nobody getting in trouble. So he gets Chad's license, mine and hers. Never got Marty's. He goes back and checks him, and this guy flicks the flashlight up. He goes, I didn't get your license. Who are you? I said, that's Marty Jannetty. And Marty goes, it's old MJ. Cop looks through the window, bends down. He goes, holy shit, I used to watch you as a kid. And you see Marty's face just like drain, like calling me old.
Yeah.
He goes back to the cop car. He had to get into the trunk to prove, because that's where his license was. But while he was in there, he signed a bunch of autographs for the cops' kids.
Yep.
Cop walks up and says, y'all have a safe trip back to the hotel and home.
Yeah. Yep.
The star power. It's there.
Star power was a mother. Got out of a few of them myself.
Yeah. Traveling the road. Hell yeah. We got pulled over a few times like that. Where you guys going so fast?
I got pulled over with Marty, but it's because he was on top of the car surfing it. And the damn cops come up and hit the lights on us, and he started throwing ice cubes and hit the windshield of the police car. And I'm like, I don't want to slam on brakes because I didn't want to kill Marty, And I'm trying to ease to a stop, and I hear him over the loudspeaker go, they go, Marty, is that you? And he goes, hell's yeah, brother. Hey, get off the car, Marty.
Look, everybody down here that knows Marty, especially, I live right across the river from his hometown. Columbus and Phoenix City, and they're right next to each other, and he's from Columbus.
All right.
And everybody that knows Marty has a famous Marty story or a story about his mama, if you ever met his mama.
I don't remember.
Let me tell you, sweetheart, but let me tell you, just Marty made over. They both had a spirit, and she was sweet as hell. But yeah, everybody down here that knows Marty Jannetty has a favorite story. So.
And most every one of them involved the police. I will tell you, just about all of them. It was
police in the bar.
Yeah, you party with Marty, you go to jail. It's just that simple.
The sad thing is, you don't mind it.
Yeah,
you don't mind it.
Either that, or he gets you out of going to jail. One of the two. But speaking of bars and partying and everything. We've been talking about telling this story for a long time. And when we mentioned it to you, you said, oh man, I've been telling that story for 20 years.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, everywhere we go, that is the top story. And we always called it the fight that never was.
Yeah.
So let me butt in, Bogey. So me and Bogey have been telling this story for a long time. But me and Bogey have had each other there to keep each other honest.
Yeah.
But we want to hear your story.
Well, hold on now.
The story, man.
Before we kick it over to him, we need you to do the Chad part. Because if we're going to tell the story, we got to.
You need me to do the Chad part?
When Chad had to go home because he was so drunk.
You want me to do that?
Yes, you got to do it. I have watched you do it for years, and you do it just like him.
All right, so that's when you so we're all out at the bar, right?
Right.
And we're drinking on the house, if I remember correctly.
Yes, we was.
And actually, hold on, before we get there, it is actually just us three because we got there the night before the show.
Yeah.
Well, they brought us.
Now, wait a minute. Chad's wife was there with us.
Well, that was the other one, Chad and his wife. We were the promoter and the three workers.
Yeah.
So Chad's there, and Chad gets absolutely wasted.
He was
Right.
lit.
He is gone. Right.
Yes.
And so I'm going to do an impression of Chad leaving the bar. So this is one of my favorites. So Chad stands up and he goes, "All right, fellas, I got to go." And he puts his hand on top of his chair and he goes, "All right, fellas, I got to go." "All right, fellas, I'm leaving." And I don't know how many laps he made around that chair before Angie finally grabbed him and walked him out the daggone door.
He did. He was just like hold on to that chair too, boy. Just right that lap.
So what that leaves us with is us three. You were talking to somebody, Martin. We had somebody else sitting at the table talking to us.
Yes.
I'm sitting there next to you. It was the table sat. It was me.
Harsh was at the end of the table.
Right. It was me.
Harsh was at the head of the table.
It was. I
there
thought
was
it was
the other person, and you were. Harsh was across from Death Row and me.
yeah.
No,
Yeah.
Harsh was sitting at the head of the table.
Right, but he had his.
I'm sitting next to Harsh. Chad was sitting across from me, but he left. And when Angie come back, isn't that his wife's name, Angie? Am I remembering correctly?
Yeah.
So Angie's sitting across from me at this point,
Yep.
and you're sitting up against the wall beside me on the right hand side.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'll set this part up, and then I'll let Harsh take over. We had 3 girls come in with 3 guys, and they sat at the table. I'm facing just like I'm facing the camera. I'm facing the audience. They're coming to the table behind us.
Right, but it was 4 girls.
Was it 4?
Yeah, it was 4 girls, and they were by themselves when they first came in.
Well, and then
Yes,
their
they were.
boyfriends or whatever came in later and went somewhere else.
Yeah, and then we were sitting there drinking, well, heavily, and somehow a conversation got struck up with them. And
That was Bogey.
yeah,
Bogey
Bogey
was telling them about the show. Bogey
was telling them about the show.
Yeah,
And they were all excited. They were excited.
At this point, me and Ro were pretty drunk.
Well, hold on. Now you're sipping, what was it, Jack and Coke?
No, I was drinking Jagger and Coke. Jagger,
Okay.
and I was drinking some Jack on top of it.
He had a beer. Most people call it pitcher. They just set the pitcher down in front of him.
He was drinking out of the pitcher.
And I
Just so
was
everybody
drinking-
knows, these ain't these little pictures either. These are the big, tall pictures.
Those are the big
right?
ones.
Yeah, they're the big ones, and that's what I've been drinking all
And
night.
I was drinking Smirnoff Ice.
Yep.
But I had talked to them, and then we went back to doing our thing. And
Yeah.
we're sitting there having a good old time.
Yes.
Now, what else do you remember about it? Is that the setup?
Yeah, pretty much it was the setup. Because after about, I don't know, 2 minutes of us just talking to ourselves, through ourselves, I happened to look up behind you, and here come these dudes in the front door. And they beeline straight for that table. And I knew exactly what they were going to say. They came straight up, and the first thing they did was saying to you, "What do you think you're doing?" And you were like, "Huh? What? What are you talking about?" And then the next thing I know, I tapped Ro, because Ro was in his own little world for a second. I tapped him a couple times, and finally he just stood up and he goes, "Who fucking wants some?" And about then, those dudes about shit themselves. Me and Bogey stood up, and here come the bouncers in between us. And they kept telling them guys, "You guys got to go. You guys got to go." And I was like, they were like, "Because you guys don't know who you're fucking with. You guys got to go. You guys got to go." And they kept backing them up towards the door. The whole time, Rose just fucking screaming at them. "I thought you fucking wanted some." So, I remember that much. And then I remember the bouncer telling us, "Hey, man, if you guys want, you guys can go out the back door. You know, we don't want a big fight going on up in here."
Yeah.
Let me add something in there, because when they come in and asked, here's the conversation we had. One of them was a boyfriend, I think, or one of them was a husband, and the other 2 were boyfriend.
Yeah.
And the one girl behind me said to the one that started all the stuff on the other side, "Oh, they're having a wrestling show. They're wrestlers." And then he kind of got interested. And I was going back to Angie. What's the address? What's the building?
Right.
And the guy came around, scooted in between past death row, and got up and said, "Well, he could just fucking move." That's when I stood up and I said, of course, I only had about 12 beers in me at that time. I stood up and said, "Well, fucking move me."
Yeah.
That's when you kick row. You
Yeah, row.
All I know is I feel something hitting my leg, and I see Angie pointing.
Yep.
She was pointing at him, and I turned my head, and the pocket of this guy's ass in his jeans is right in my face, and that's when I come up screaming, and they scattered.
Oh yeah, they fucking were like, "Oh shit, here we go, it's on."
Well,
and Horace is standing at the end of the table. But I also remember when we got stood up, looking at Horace going, "We're in trouble." Because I was having to white knuckle that table
Yeah,
to stay upright.
It was lit.
And everybody don't know us that has never stood next to us. Horace, you're what, 6'8"? Somewhere?
Yeah, I run about 6'5".
You got to be.
You're taller than that, dude. You're taller than that.
What do you run, bro?
I'm 6'6", and you're taller than me.
Okay, so maybe I am a little bit taller.
You're taller than me.
You're 6'6" to 6'7".
Yeah.
He's 6'6". I'm the smallest one at 6'2", 235 at that time.
Yeah.
You know, and I got two giants with me. You know, it's kind of like the Jolly Green Giant times 2 behind me. But
all right, let's get to the parking lot, man. We got to get to the parking lot. That's where the story happened, man.
Well, hold on now. The story's still inside because we sat there and had finished off our beers, and all of us at the same time said, "Might be a good thing to go. Get out of here."
Yeah.
So we sent Angie through the door first, just in case, which we probably should have put her in between us just in case. But if they came from behind, you know, we didn't want her because she was pregnant at the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was me, it was Harsh next, and then me and Death Row last. And the bouncer stopped him and talked to him for a minute. You know, we're just like, "Hey, we're gonna go. We don't want no problem. You know, y'all are cool with us." So we get out to the car. Angie's at the front on her side. She's got her keys. She goes to get in. I go to get in this side. Harsh, and I don't know how the hell you fit in the front seat either of this car.
Well, that's the thing, to let you know just how big Horace was compared to me, was I didn't even try to get in the front. I let Horace have it because
we stood there and swayed for a few minutes. I remember that much.
This was a little bitty car, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Now let me see if you remember this, Harsh, because when we get in, they come through the bar, and I still remember saying this, and he remembers me saying this. They come out, they yelled out, "We thought you fucking wanted some." And Death Row hadn't shut the door. All three of us were in the car. And he goes, "Huh?" Starts on the door. And I remember, I don't know if you remember this. I said, "Harsh, grab him. He's going to kill him."
Yeah. Well, it took him a second to get out of the car, so I didn't know how fast it was going to happen. But yeah, no, they came down the fucking side of this bar, the fucking street there. And they came down that way screaming, and the one dude was pulling his shirt off and talking shit.
82nd Airborne. I'll never forget it.
Yeah, that's what he said. That's what he said. I'm airborne. He was like 22 years old. You're thinking, how the hell's that, dude? You know? Oh, yeah.
All I remember now is I get out. Angie sits by the front door. I'm leaning on the back of the car like this. Death Row gets out. He falls to the back of the car.
I don't even get out the door. I'm leaned up against.
He's leaning against it.
Now, and then I look over, and you're leaning up against him.
Yep.
I actually caught him. He come around. He turned the corner, And I saw him when he started to head for the ground. I said, "Oh shit!" I catch him, and I hold him up, and he puts his hands on my chest, and we are beyond inebriated at this point. We were mad.
Yeah.
And we got like, what was it? So it started out with like 3 guys.
It was 3
now,
guys, ended up with like 10.
Now we've got like 8 guys out there wanting to kick our ass. And
Oh shit.
Well, here's the funny part. I'm sitting over there. You guys are. It didn't look appropriate the way y'all were laying on each other.
And I was giving each other hugs.
But if you couldn't see them, but if you would have saw this from my angle, Harsh, you turn your head this way, he'd yell at him and point this side. You go this way, he'd be yelling at him.
Oh, yeah, we were working it.
And you're sitting over there, and you turn around and go, "I'm going to let him go, y'all. I'm going to let him go."
It was, I think my favorite part of that whole interchange was after we get out of the car and I'm leaned up, and I know that if I go out there and swing at somebody, that I will be snoring before I hit the ground. I will pass out as sure as the world. And I absolutely realize that we are all way too drunk to be doing this. And so Horace is leaned up on me. I'm leaned up on the car, and these guys are running around acting all crazy. And I start doing the curly shuffle. I start, Horace is laughing at me. And then I look at him and I go, "What's wrong, fellas? What you worried about? You worried about that itty bitty little wee wee you got down there?" And Horace goes, "Oh my God, man, that's cruel." And I'm just laughing. But I had those guys so damn mad. They were so hot.
At that point is when the girlfriend started laughing at him.
Yeah, they were hot, man, but wouldn't none of them get close enough.
No.
None of them. They would not get close enough.
They'd come up a little bit and then they'd back away. They'd come up a little bit and then back away.
We're laying on the car. It's like we're trying to hold the car from moving.
So we have this great interchange, and then a damn S10 pickup comes out of nowhere, sliding into the parking lot. And this guy comes out of the damn truck wide open, running. I mean, I think he hit the ground before the truck quit moving. And he's running, and he's screaming at the top of his lungs. He said, "I'll kick all 3 of their asses. They don't know who they're fucking with." And that's when Bogey comes to life.
Yeah, it was like you got a spark in him all of a sudden.
My spark was laughing at y'all too. So when he said that, I said, "Well, hell, I got to say something." I jump up and go, "Hold up.
Stop!"
Who the fuck are you?" It was like dead silence. I guess he was so mad he didn't know what to say.
And then these idiots decide that they're going to call the law on us.
Yep.
Oh, this is where Angie pops up.
Yeah.
Angie goes, "I got a phone. You want me to call him?"
Call him up.
But look, so we finally make it into the car. We're heading back to Chad's house. And I think we were like on Chad Street when I looked at Angie and said, "Turn around and go back." And she said, "I'm not going back." I said, "Turn around and go back. We got to see what happened." And we go back to the bar, and these idiots had actually called the damn police, and they had the sun gun stretched out on the side of a Bronco.
I remember that. Yeah. They were all spread out. I remember that. They're all going to jail for public intoxication.
Now, that's just the beginning of it, because when everybody else showed up, because when we got back to the hotel, there was people pulling in, then the next day everybody comes in and they found out what happened.
Yeah.
That was the infamous trip where Izzy and Big Daddy rode together in that damn single cab S10 pickup truck.
Yep.
Holy
that
shit.
little bitty blue one.
Hanging out the windows like this. It was like 30 degrees.
Yeah.
How did they do that?
You're talking like 800 pounds in a little bitty S10 truck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
a poor truck.
The next morning, I'm not going to tell the story of Chad, That I'm gonna get him on here one day and tell him that story.
Yeah, are you talking? You're talking the soap boxers and all
the
that
cleanup story.
Yeah.
Oh, you come out when Angie got wife of the year, brother.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
She won
Wife
an
of the
award for that.
decade.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
Oh
was.
my
She
God.
was bad.
So
Yeah, he's lucky he lived through that. That's for real.
True.
and
It's true. Very true. Wow.
people
that
don't
was
realize how good they were to us. Angie cooked everybody breakfast the next morning.
Yep. Yeah.
And so everybody's over there talking about what went on, and Chad was just mad that he missed it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Chad wouldn't have been able to think straight enough to stand up.
No. He was.
Horace, I'm trying to remember if we wrestled each other that night. I don't know if it was me and you. Yeah, I don't know if it was me. I know you got injured, but I don't know if it was with me.
No,
but I remember you blew your knee or something that night.
No, that was down south that I ended up doing that. It was here in St. Louis. I blew my knee out.
No, you were hurt.
You couldn't make it back to the bar because you were hurt.
You couldn't go back to the bar.
Yeah. I tweaked it out. That's right. No, that was the night I overshot the elbow drop off the ring apron and hit the concrete with my elbow.
Oh, well, okay.
I couldn't move my damn arm. It was all swelled out.
So
I remember that. Had water on the elbow.
Yeah, we went back to the bar the next night, and everybody is talking about this the whole day. We're all going to the bar. Harsh was like, I can't make it, but he ended up getting hurt. So we had Suicide. We had well, you can see old girl's picture right there. We had Miss Felicia there.
Felicia, yeah.
We had her boyfriend there. We had Big Daddy, me, Death Row, Chad was there, and there was like one or two other people from the show. None of us were drinking. We might have had a beer in our hand.
I want to say Izzy come with us too.
Izzy was there.
I want to say when we rolled into that bar, it was me, Bogey, and Big Daddy were the first three in the door.
God damn.
Yeah.
That's a wall coming in right there, man.
And when we walked in, the cockiest one out of the guys that were messing with us, he was walking up, and Bogey was telling Big Daddy, he said, yeah, that's him right there. And Big Daddy goes, who? And this guy jumps up in Big Daddy's face.
Oh, shit.
And he goes, they're talking about me, motherfucker. And look, and we all know Big Daddy, right?
Yeah.
Big Daddy immediately took off running and had this dude splayed across his belly.
Trying to hold on like the bumper of a car.
As he's trucking through this damn bar. He takes him all the way from the front door to the back wall. And he's butting him up against that wall going, if I was talking about you, motherfucker, you know I was talking about you. And he's just giving him the hell. And then Big Daddy turns around. He's excited, man. And he looks at all of us and he goes, first round's on me. And I'm over there going, stop. Big Daddy, stop. He's what? And I said, we drink for free. First round's on me.
First round's on me. Hell yeah.
Well, you're standing up, Martin. You're standing up drinking. You got a beer.
Yeah,
you got Felicia's husband, boyfriend, wherever they were at the time there. I'm sitting right here toward the end of the table. Couple people on that side. You're standing right here at the head of the table and right next to Big Daddy.
Yeah,
because the bar was right behind.
Yeah. And there were bouncers covering every square inch of the wall.
It looked like a presidential thing. They had damn security all the way down the wall.
They literally had chairs. They had chairs up against the wall, and the bouncers are standing in the chairs.
Yeah.
Watching. And they're waiting on this fight to happen. And so I'm standing at the bar, and I'm talking to somebody. And I got one pitcher of beer. I knew for a fact that I was not going to get drunk this night because it was fixing to go down, right? And so I'm sitting there. I go to get a drink out of my pitcher, and dude hits my elbow and makes me spill my beer. And I look, and the head bouncer is looking right at me, and he watches him do it. And I let it go. And then I go to take another drink and he hits me again. And again, I'm locking eyes with the head bouncer. Yeah. And so I go to get a third drink and he bumps me one more time. And I asked the girl I was talking to if she would excuse me. And I walked over to the head bouncer and I looked him right now and I said, your boss is paying me to be here. You got that? I said, they flew me all the way from Montgomery, Alabama, so I could come and drink in this bar.
Yeah.
And you've watched that son of a bitch hit me 3 times already. And I said, and I promise you, if he ever touches me again, you didn't bring enough people to keep me from putting him in a wheelchair for the rest of his life. And when I get through with him, I'm coming and getting you. And I turned around and walked off. And I went and picked up my beer and I went to take a swallow. And here he comes. He's fixing to hit me, and it looked like a gang raping up in that joker, man. These joker bouncers come out of everywhere and drug his ass out the front door.
He literally went to bump the arm, got spun and shoved right out the door.
Yep, they took him out. And so everybody they brought to fight us started partying with us.
No.
There was jacked up, dude. There was like 30 of them that they had there at the bar. So they did the bar good.
Right.
Oh, yeah, man. It was a sellout.
It was a sellout. Bar was packed.
But see, they expected 3 of us back at the bar. They didn't expect the whole show there.
Yeah, they didn't expect everybody. They didn't realize you guys were going to come in there rolling that deep.
Yeah. We're rolling Big Daddies and Izzies up in there.
Yeah, yeah. We brought out the big guys. How's that, guys?
they all, at the end of the night, or probably about 30 minutes after that, we were just having fun. Everybody laughing, having a good old time. And all the people they brought to kick our asses said, man, y'all are cool as hell. I don't know what the hell's wrong with them.
They were just jacked up, man. That's all.
Well, let me tell you, so the very end of the story, the end of the fight, was the girl I was talking to, we decided to go back to her place. And when I walk out the front door, sorry, my dog's going. I'm walking out alone with her, so I don't have any support.
All right.
And when I get on the sidewalk, they're standing across the street on the sidewalk, and they're screaming at me. You know, hey, motherfucker, hey, this, hey, that. And I'm looking at them and I turn, I'm being as polite as I can. I turn to the girl I was with and I go, would you excuse me for one moment? And she goes, yeah, sure. And I turned around and took off running wide open across the street and I'm screaming at the top of my lungs, all right, you motherfuckers, you gotta fight me now. And they pulled a Houdini faster than I've ever seen in my life. By the time I got across that street, I was alone, man. There wasn't nobody standing there.
And you know, me and Death Row, we've been sitting here all these years going, damn, we wish Harsh would have been there that second night.
Oh, yeah.
Heck yeah, man. Heck
I remember talking about it at the hotel. I was like, fuck, I missed all that.
Oh, man, we had so much fun with that. And
we always had fun in that bar, though, man. Every time we were in there.